Howdy y'all.
Hi guys.
It's Angela.
And Ryan.
From RNA Music.
That's right.
Whoa, my camera's... What in the...
Wonky.
What in the actual...
Wonky.
crap is this? From RNA Music.
Yes.
Your favorite mom and pop music lesson studio and occasional guitar shop.
That's right.
When there's not a pandemic. Deep in the heart of Texas. That's where we're at.
Yes.
Greg Leonard is sending me photos. Frickin' Greg from Vola.
It's one, not one, it's the other.
It's not Chris Mitchell, it's Greg from Voler. Oh my gosh. We're trying to shoot some videos, you guys.
Come on. Every Thursday.
Oh my gosh. Greg's moving to Texas, so that's good, I guess. Yeah! Let's get to it. Welcome back. This is episode 342, I think. Yes, of Ask RNA, where Angela answers all your burning questions.
Every single one of them.
Of all kinds, and I occasionally have an answer for people all over the world. We have a little guitar shop, music lesson studio. I say guitar shop. It's a music lesson studio and guitar shop because we spend 97% of our time teaching music lessons in a very small town in East Texas, which is in Texas. And we like to make YouTube videos for you guys and girls all over the world. All right, if you're curious about Texas or what it's like owning a small business or making a living from music in 2022, all that good stuff, we're here to answer those questions. If you like some merch, like this, or this, or, you know, a cuppy cup, or some loungy pants, or...
Which I still haven't gotten.
Still haven't gotten your stretchy pants, Lala.
I know.
Or any of our other cool logos, you can go down. There's a link down below to a Spring store. Used to be Teespring, now it's Spring.
Yes.
Get you some merch if you feel like supporting anything that we do. If you enjoy our content and you want a little piece of the RNA Music action. Yeah, get you a shirt.
Yep.
And that's, I don't know if that counts as... That's not sponsored content.
No.
We're asking you to buy stuff.
Right.
You can sponsor RNA Music. All right, and we are going to get to it, answer some questions. Concise. Because we got crap to do. First question, Midnight Wind, hashtag Big Mama Thornton. Hey, Angela.
Hey.
This is for you, by the way.
Hey.
After a long rehearsal last Monday, about 6 to 8 hours, my voice has been slow to recover. Well,
yeah. Sure.
What can I do to get the pipes firmed up? They go flabby in the upper range and have a smoker's resonance down below. We don't do screaming music, mostly 70s stuff. America, Clapton, smooth stuff. Any ideas? Thank you.
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to actually hear your voice to know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'd have to hear your voice to know exactly what you're talking about. Because it could be an easy fix of just relaxing your shoulders and projecting and relying more on your chest voice than the front of your throat. That's where a lot of people get a taxing feeling, is because they're singing from the front of their throat. Even if it's smooth. They're singing from here instead of relaxing and letting their voice sit to the back of their throat and having their chest to support, your diaphragm to your chest to support it. So I'd have to actually watch you and see what you look like when you sing, how your face reacts. If you're singing like, with they're tensing your face, then you're pushing too hard in this part of your body. You're not letting the strongest part of your body to support your voice. And yeah, I'd have to hear it and see it. That's a lot of coaching is visual and auditory. So I can't just give you a blanketed statement, because if I tell you to do something and I don't hear exactly what's going on, then you might do the wrong thing and it actually might hurt you more than it might help you. So send me a recording of your voice. You can totally do that.
Or a video.
of you singing. You can send it to our email address.
Or on Messenger at RNA Music on Facebook.
On Facebook or our Instagram channel. You can do a quick Insta story and send it. You know how you can say, it says post or it has a list of friends, and you can find us as Our Name Music and send it to our page. Either way, just doesn't have to be much, like maybe the first part of a chorus or anything, and look directly into the camera, and then do a side profile of the way you're singing. So if you're leaning out like this when you sing, or if you have your throat closing like this, then I'll know exactly what to tell you and how to coach you from there.
Good. Yeah. It's mostly mechanical issues.
Yes, it is.
I would say after a 6 to 8 hour rehearsal, your voice is going to be shot.
Yeah, and then there's that. That's just going to be natural. But there's ways to prevent complete shot where you lose the strength of your voice in high notes and low notes. That has to do with the technical aspect of it while you're singing during that time, because it's not like you're just constantly singing for 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
There's times where you're just talking and chit-chatting. I would suggest, if you are planning to do a set of practice for a rehearsal for that long, that whenever the song isn't being played and people are just messing around with like the guitar parts or the bass parts or the rhythm section, don't talk, and don't put the force, unless you're doing like a mic check rehearsal, you don't have to project it that strong at the moment.
You don't want to give 100%.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Not in a rehearsal. Not if you're like, these are all new songs, we're going to do a whole new set list, and this is what we're doing, so we have to figure it out. You know, we got this new band member, so it's going to be a lot of practice time. As the singer, you don't have to go full force in it, because that can honestly destroy your voice. And then you get polyps and all that jazz, and it's no good for anybody. So there you go.
Yeah, and I've heard some like people who do this for a living. I mean, play gigs. Somebody was saying it's like you have to go out and give a really solid 70% every night. Like if you're playing back-to-back gigs and things like that, you can't go 100% every night, because like, as a singer you cannot do that.
Yeah.
You have to give
I don't do that in practices.
100% of 70%.
Yeah. Because a lot of times when it comes to practices, it's more about, are you getting the timing more than it is about, are you performing, aspect of it. And really getting the singing sounds. And it's not necessarily screamo, but even just those power, like if you're doing Journey or something like that. But yeah, it's mostly in rehearsals, mostly the timing and getting everybody on, concise and congealed. So
concise.
Yeah, that's all.
There you go.
I hope that helped.
Thanks for the question, Midnight Man.
Send it to me. I'd love to hear it.
Send us a video. Walking Dead 1369 with the next question. What is your it factor for good barbecue? Let's say pulled pork, because that is probably a universal constant. Is it the sauce or the taste of the meat itself? Personally, I judge it by whether or not I even want sauce on it. If the meat is cooked right, it doesn't need any. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Mm-hmm. I think I read that wrong when I was printing it out, because I was like, what's your it factor? I was thinking, like, how do you know if it's good? I was like, right. Because you mentioned pulled pork, and I was like, ribs. Like, if you don't have good ribs.
Yes, like, he's like, with Italian food is like spaghetti.
If you can't make if it's great
Mexican,
spaghetti,
like, or Tex-Mex, if it's like Mexican food, he's like, if you can't make a good taco, I don't trust you. If you can't make good spaghetti,
if you can't get tacos right, there's no way you get anything else.
Yeah,
right.
Ryan judges on the most basic form of food that you can get in that bracket of food, in that genre of food, and if you can't get that right, he's not sold.
I've had mediocre ribs, and I'm like, rest.
I believe you.
And then when we were at Pizzatola's, I was like, these are literally. But they had like
so much meat on it.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't like this little thin strip of beef jerky.
It's bones with a little bit.
And like a 90% of bone.
It was
like perfectly balanced.
And didn't need sauce.
Yeah, it did not need sauce.
I don't remember putting sauce on any of it.
It was like it had like a little bit of like a glazy seasoning to it that was just like chef's kiss.
I felt bad when Ken was here the other day, because like he was born in Houston.
I don't care.
And I was telling him
I don't care.
I told him about the question about Houston and Austin.
I was like, born in downtown Dallas, and I'm not proud of that.
I didn't even know. And I was like, nobody wants to go to Houston. He's like, people who were born in Houston
can't
like
help
Houston.
it.
I'm like, yeah,
you
maybe.
Don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't. That's a lie. You don't. It's like
so good ribs.
Okay, let's go back to the barbecue question.
I would say that if you don't need sauce to eat it, that's some good barbecue.
Yes.
If you got to smother it in sauce,
Yeah.
it's like...
Mine is like the tenderness. Like if I can just...
Yes.
Like especially brisket, because of beef, can
Yes.
get so tough.
I don't like tough.
It's just like with a plastic fork. If I can cut it and dig into it with a plastic fork, you're good. It's good. Like I want it to be like that grease ring, around my hands and fingers. Like you have that grease ring. That's good stuff. But yeah, I agree 100%. If you don't need sauce, it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's like good. A good steak. If you don't need,
if you have to put A1 on it, it's not that great.
It's not that great.
Now A1 is great when you put it on.
Sometimes
for covering up crappy steaks.
Yes, there you go.
Best steaks we've ever had.
Didn't need anything.
Nothing.
Not a single daggum thing. Not even like garlic butter or anything. So
concise. Thank you, Walking Dead. You guys and girls down below, tell us how do you judge your barbecue? What is the key factor for you? Next question. Just fun guitar from the England Shire. Hashtag Big Mama Thornton. Hashtag KTMA. I love the Stones and Beatles. Both of them celebrated black music and propagated black music to a white audience. New question. What is actually Texan, but most people think isn't?
Didn't we do this?
No, we did the opposite of that.
Oh.
What's something...
It is.
What's something that's not Texas that actually is was last week. This week it's what is actually a very Texan thing that most people don't think is.
Oh gosh. That's a hard one because
really
I think that's about the same. Like most people that think if you think it's Texan, it probably actually is. And
we ain't got no secrets.
There's nothing that is like, oh yeah, we have, So I would think that most think is Texan, but most people don't think. Honestly, I think it is. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is that people don't think a lot of Texans are like how our cities are, or smaller towns are compared to big cities. People mostly think like hick, there's nothing there. And like we joke about we don't have a lot of restaurants and stuff like that. But really there's a lot more going on in smaller towns than you would find actually in larger cities. Like we have more festivals and fairs and just events that happen in small towns that most people don't think. So whenever they go, oh, I hate small towns, I don't want to go, there's nothing going on. There's literally always something going on.
Or that our small town, what we consider a small town isn't really a small town.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, I said that before. Like we're a small town, and then somebody came from somewhere. I don't know where they came. It wasn't. I remember that. It wasn't from Texas. And they came and like, wow, Canton's way bigger than I thought. I'm like, you said small town. I was like, this is a small town. What? I mean, what? But they're not. They weren't from around here. They weren't from around these parts. So right. I guess maybe a small town somewhere else is like 500 people.
Yeah, that's hard. It hurts my brain a little bit. Like that is a Texas thing, but people don't think is a Texas thing. Kindness. Most people think Texans are like haughty,
arrogant. Arrogant is the word that I think of. They're like,
y'all are so arrogant. But when people actually move here and like driving, and they're like, y'all are like the nicest.
All of our friends from California they're like, everybody says yes ma'am and yes sir and thank you and please and like
we have this underlined rule of politeness. I mean, don't get me wrong, we'll cut you too, but it is like but it's still like, I think most people think of Texans as being overly arrogant and prideful, and that's just not Texas. That's why we love it so much, because we know that a neighbor, if our kids are being stupid out in public, a neighbor's going to tell us or tell our kids, stop that, I know your mom.
And we don't even, I always think that, at least I think, the Texans I know, is like, we don't even really get mad when people are like, y'all are so blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, of course you would feel that way.
Because
that's what jealous people do. That's the exact kind of reaction.
That's what people who want to be Texans think.
And me not getting super mad about it, I was like, why would I be mad about it?
Yeah. We're not mad. Because, we just
Texas sucks, but
we just love living in Texas.
That's kind of what I would expect you to say.
Yeah.
But
It's not easy being green.
It's not easy being. It's not easy being amazing. What's it like being amazing at everything, Angela?
Exhausting.
I know. That's what you always say. Mm-hmm. There you go. Being nice. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Next question. Ronan67. Hashtag Big Mama Thornton. Okay, here's a question for each of you. Ryan, if you were putting together a pedal board and could only use 4 pedals and one had to be a tuner, what would you choose? Or would you forgo pedals and just run straight into an amp? Angela, what would you say are the 2 most important parts of vocal training? Pitch, breathing, voice, rhythm, or dictation? Without pitch, you'll not be able to sing in key. Without breathing technique, voice, strengthening vocal cords, finish out of the... Okay. Those are the questions. I'm trying to think if I want to go get my pedal board or not while you answer your question.
Sure, why not?
Let me go do that. She's going to answer the voice question, and I will return.
Okay. What would you say are the 2 most important parts of vocal training? I would say pitch and breathing. The most important. Because no one wants to hear a pitchy person, and breathing controls a lot of pitch. Breathing controls your nervousness, and a lot of nervousness messes up pitch. Voice, having a specific voice depends on the genre that you want to sing in. So I don't know what you mean by voice necessarily. Voice, by that I mean strengthening vocal cords and learning beneficial habits. Okay, now I read the question, so sorry about that. So I'm talking.
I wasn't saying anything.
Voice, strengthening vocal cords. Some people are born with stronger vocal cords than others, so sometimes that even has to just do with genetics. Learning on beneficial habits. If you learn beneficial breathing and pitch hearing, a lot of those things just fall in line. Rhythm, same thing. Learning how to breathe in pitch, because if you're reading music, you will have a breath mark. So it'll be in the rhythm of the song. So that also. Dictation, same thing. Whenever you are ending songs with an S or a hard consonant, or even with a vowel, you have to have a certain kind of dictation where it doesn't come off too harsh, but you also know when somebody says what, you're not saying waiter or water, you don't sound like even flow.
So what was the answer?
I gave pitch and breathing were my 2. So that's what I would say, because without pitch or breathing, the others just kind of fall out of place. But when you focus on someone's pitch with their breathing in tow, because you can't have one or without the other properly, all those other things are going to fall into place. But if you don't have good breathing, your pitch isn't going to be great. If you don't have good pitch, your breathing is going to suffer. So, yeah, that's what I think.
I was going to say pitch and rhythm. Because like I said, if
rhythm will come
along
later.
If you have a good pitch, you have good breathing. You can't, you can't be on pitch and not breathe.
I mean, kind of. Some people can sing like this.
Well, I guess you could hit the pitch, but the timbre.
Yeah, well, that comes with voice.
Okay.
Yeah, I said, but all those things, once you get
but
those in
matters
those...
if you're not on pitch.
Right, but pitch is the biggest one. If you don't focus on pitch will correct your breathing, which will correct your dictation, which will correct your voice, all the different things. Because pitch is the biggest one. Hearing it and learning how to control your voice in such a way that it'll have that dictation, it'll have your breathing in tow, it'll have your voice, the strength of your voice, and your rhythm, because you want to be able to hold that note and think about holding that note and sustaining that note and controlling that note to start and stop. There you go. That's my answer.
There you go. This didn't work out as well as I thought.
Yeah, because I forgot a whole bunch of stuff.
I got a bunch of cables in my little thing. We just had a recital earlier this week with our students, and I took pedal boards for 2 of the amps. We used we wheel out the big boy amps, the Mesa Boogie and the EVH. And then I use the Devil Cat. But for the EVH and the Mesa Boogie both, they don't have any reverb or anything, so they're just very plain Jane. So both of those, I get my personal pedal boards out. Anyways, let me show you what I got. Oh, look, there's only 4 pedals. Amazing. Ugh. I have a Strobo Stomp tuner. I have the Animal Overdrive. I have a Hall of Fame and a Flashback. So reverb, delay, overdrive, tuner. Ugh. And all my cables are loosey goosey in there because we were packing up in a hurry. Now, that also includes, I'm not going to count the channel switching pedal, because like the Mesa Boogie and the EVH and my Devil Cat for that reason they're all multiple channel amps. So of course the pedal for switching the channels and amps, but that's generally my thing. Tuner, reverb, delay, and either an overdrive of some kind or a distortion. On my other pedal board, I have I have a fuzz pedal that but it's tuner. That pedal actually, I have a dual reverb and delay pedal all in one. Boss RV 500. But those are my ones.
Concise.
That was concise. That's what I said. You be concise. I am the concise. And that's that question. Thank you, Ronan67. Now it's time for comment of the day.
Comment of the day. Comment of the day, yeah.
You can't even see me. This is a problem.
Well, no, that's too loud up to my face.
Too close?
You play too loud. That's too close to my face.
All right, it's time for comment of the day, where we are going to write a song from viewer comments on the spot with no prior rehearsal or anything. Although you've been teaching voice lessons and guitar lessons all day, and I've been teaching guitar lessons and drum lessons and bass lessons all day.
Yes. Water.
So, but from you guys' comments, we're going to write something. Suggestions. What do you want?
Just start strumming chords.
Sorry. Oh my God.
Here we go. Yeah, yeah. Hashtag Big Mama is one of my dog's nicknames. My dog's nicknames. Big Mama is his dog nickname, yeah. I don't know if you heard me because that was loud. Look at that.
Well, I'm sorry. Sing louder.
No. Now when you're making up songs, it's hard to. Or you lose pitch.
Really strong 70%.
Yes.
Comment of the day, JVanB231. Hashtag Big Mama is one of my dog's nicknames. We have nicknames for our dogs.
Yes, we
What's
do.
some of our dog nicknames?
Pepper is Skeever, Biebert.
Biebert.
Justin Bieber. Roxy is Rami, Romcom, Raminator,
Roxanne.
Old Lady,
Come on, old lady.
Romkey, and Mesa is
May.
May. That's about it.
Sometimes Shameme.
Yes, yeah,
I call her
you call
Shameme.
And
Biosket.
yeah, Biosket. And Sarah is Sarah Bear, Sarah the Bear, Saris the Bearus, Cerebus,
Dummy.
and Dum Dum.
Shut up, dummy.
No. Dummy.
Cerebus. No. Dummy.
And then Summer is Sum Sum.
Some.
Sum to the Sum Sum. Sum Sum. And I don't know. Aiden has a nickname for her. He said it one day and I was like, what'd you call her? I can't remember what it is. Yeah.
And then
Ember.
Ember, our cat.
We like keep naming animals.
Her name is Ember Sparkle Cat.
Yes, and we call her.
That's her real name.
We call her Bimber.
Ditter.
Ditter the ditter.
Merp.
Merp. Potato. Loafer. Skeever. That was
Khajiit.
Khajiit. Yes.
Ember has wares if you have the coin.
Yes, and then Nicholas's new kitten.
We just got a new cat.
Is Gyleo Knox.
That's his real name.
His name is Gyleo Knox. And then Ryan calls him Frank.
I call him Frank. That's my nickname for Gyleo Knox.
Yeah, I call him Noxy Poo.
Noxious. Mm-hmm. I call him Frank because I thought that would made more sense than
And Aiden calls him Kyle.
Really?
Or yeah, he'll go, Kyle. Oh, Chad.
What a
He's
Chad.
like, you're such a Chad. So yeah, Aiden calls them those names. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the real names of our animals, and then our nicknames that we call them all the time. Mm-hmm. What's your nickname for me?
Rai.
Rai. Mm-hmm. What's my nickname for you?
Lala.
What's our nickname for Aiden?
Aiden Bear.
Aiden Bear.
Or Adelbear.
Adelbears.
He's our Adelbear.
What about Nicholas?
Bear. Kick It.
Kick It.
Oh, and Aiden has Din Din.
We call him Din Din.
Because our great nephew he couldn't say Nicholas, so he was saying, I can't remember what he called him first before Kick It, but he couldn't say Nicholas, so he went Kickus, and he went Kick It, and so it became Kick It, and Aiden he said Din Din, so Aiden and Din Din and Kick It have been their names for a while now, for like 2 years now.
I also call him Nucleus.
Yeah.
Instead of a man, it's just Nucleus.
And well, when he was little, it was Tudor McFruiter. And now it's just Giant. I say, come here, Giant. BFG.
Come here, Gigantor.
Yeah, he's our BFG.
Nicknames.
And then what do you call Aiden?
What do I call Aiden? I don't know. What do I call him?
Captain Muscles.
Oh, Captain Muscles, yes. I'm like, when I want him to, hey, Captain Muscles, come here, pick this up.
Come over here and pick up this car.
Yeah.
Because that dude is
I'll put up a picture from
ridiculous.
the recital.
He's redonkulous. He's big. He's broad boy.
Yeah. Captain Muscles. That's a pretty nice nickname.
Yeah, it is.
I wish my parents had a nickname for me like that.
Yeah. My dad had his nicknames for us were embarrassing.
What were they? Now we have to know them.
Like, Nicole was Nikki. We call her Nikki. Her name is Amy Nicole, but anyways, her name is Nikki, and Daddy called her Nikki Picky. And Michelle, he just called her Missy, but there was another name that he called her. I can't remember now. And I didn't think anything about this until I got into junior high, and Dad yelled it from the car. But Dad used to call me Angie Whacker. And now I think it sounds like Tallywhacker.
Angie Whacker.
But he would call me that. Like, that was my nickname from when I was little bitty. He'd be like, Angie Whacker, come here. And that's what he called it. And Amanda was Manda Panda.
Amanda Panda.
Amanda Panda.
She's still a panda.
But we call her Manda Panda. Manda Panda. Like, it was rolled into one word. But yeah, my name was Angie Whacker. And then once I got older, like junior high, I was like, I cannot stand the name Angie. I will not come. I will not turn around. I will not acknowledge you if you call me Angie.
Ignore you.
Half the time, if I know you well enough to warn you, I'll turn around and look at you and give you the stare. And like, don't call me that. So, just FYI.
Yeah. We'll delete your comment if you say Angie.
If you say Angie. Yes, you will
get
deleted.
Don't even...
Just, not you won't get deleted, but your comment will get deleted. We'll still be friends, but just warn you.
Yeah.
So there you go. Nicknames. Yay.
Yeah.
What'd your family call you? Just Ryan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Supreme Chancellor.
I can see that about his family. His family's boring. I don't have anything fun to say about any of y'all. Like
I think we call it Renee Nene.
Well, everybody. It's like calling my mom Vanessa Nana. Like, her sisters called her Nana.
Yeah.
That's like the same thing.
Yeah. Maybe my dad called me Bud. Hey, Bud. Come here, Bud. Or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I
like,
remember you
as
saying that.
As like a little kid. Not like in junior high. It was
Yeah.
like being like a kid. It was like Bud. Mm-hmm. But you know.
Yeah, we call our boys that.
Hey, bud.
Yeah, and we call our boys Bubba.
Bubba.
You know, they both call brother and Bubba, you know.
Brother.
Yeah,
that's our nephews. Brother.
They don't call each other by their first names. They call each other brother, come here, brother. It's hilarious. It's cute.
Dorks.
It's adorable. They're adorable.
Are they?
Yes, they are.
Totes adorbs.
Super.
Totes adorbs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, moving on. Concise.
Next question. Comb costs.
Okay.
You guys tell us your nicknames for your pets.
Yes.
Yeah. Comb costs. Next question. Hashtag Big Mama Thornton. Hey, if this is appropriate for your church, could you show us a rehearsal or warm up of the band before service? I'd love to know what it sounds like.
Nice.
Well, it sounds like no drummer right now. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
We've had a drummer for forever, the longest for as long as I've been there. And then we lost our drummer, sadly. He passed away. What? We did.
Oh, I was like, no,
Charlie.
David is so. I was like, oh yeah, Charlie. Sorry.
Our main drummer.
Yes.
A good friend of mine. For the
My
longest
brain
time.
did not go there.
Charlie
I'm so sorry.
passed away, and then so we didn't have a drummer for a month or two, a couple of months maybe.
Yeah.
And then one of our guys who was the regular fill-in when Charlie was out of town, David stepped up and started playing more often, which was great for him. But now David is not there anymore. So we are sans drummer at the moment. It's guitars, 3 guitars, bass, keyboards, 2 vocalists, and no drums. So it's kind of like unplugged, I guess. MTV unplugged version. Maybe.
No, because there's amps.
Maybe the Nirvana. Well, they were amps in the MTV unplugged.
Okay.
They weren't actually unplugged. That's a lie. Or you wouldn't be able to hear them.
Right. All right. So that's
Yes, maybe
we could probably swing a couple of. I'll do a couple of videos.
Depends on what the band thinks. They might not want to be on there.
Well, we don't have to show their faces. We could just have their sound.
Right. Okay.
We don't have to have their faces.
Maybe.
I could film point it towards an amp or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Next question.
Jeffrey Egan. Giant belt buckles. Texas fact or fiction?
Fact. 100%.
Well,
it's a thing.
It's a thing, but maybe it's not as big a thing as you think. When's the last time you saw a giant belt buckle?
On Maddie Smith.
When?
It happens, yes. During rodeo season, usually the kids who've had one belt buckle have won a belt buckle will sport their belt buckles. All my friends that are in FFA all had belt buckles because you can win them at FFA whenever you showed a cow or a sheep or whatever. And they had it for rodeo kids. My dad did announcements for the Henderson County Rodeo. And during that time, whenever the fair would come around, all the kids who had won their belt buckles would sport their belt buckles, and they would sit in the hallway and compare their stinking belt buckles. All of them. But there was one girl, Jamie Spears, that's right.
Jamie Lynn Spears?
She had this giant, and she was only maybe 5'2". And her belt buckle covered her whole entire waist. It was huge.
It was like a wrestling belt.
Yes, it looked like a wrestling belt because she ran barrels and she was the #1 in the county of running. But she would go to the Fort Worth Stockyard. She would always she was really, really stinking good. And she was a pageant, rodeo pageant person. So she would have, the hair and everything. And so whenever you see a guy or gal with a giant belt buckle, that's usually when they start sporting them most.
It's a trophy.
It's because it's that time of year and it's almost like a mum. For
Farmer's
homecoming.
Mums? Farmer's mums?
Sorry.
They don't know what mums are.
Football. Well, some of them do because they're Americans.
Some of them are Yankees.
Some of them. So we have these big, flower displays with ribbons with football players' names and our schools and all the stuff.
Go Google Texas homecoming.
Put a picture right here.
No, I have to work.
Oh, okay.
That's extra time for me.
Yes,
concise.
Literally Google
They have Google at their fingertips.
But yes, I see them all the time. And anytime you hear a loud truck, more than likely if that kid gets out, he will have a belt buckle.
I was just saying, of our 70-something students, only one has a big belt buckle that she wears all the time. So it's one of 70.
Right, but still, it is.
It's a thing.
It's not a fiction.
It's not fiction. Yeah, that's true.
That's the question. Texas fact or fiction? It's a fact. And it's a very proud thing. It is not just because, look at my big old belt buckle I bought at the Tractor Supply or at the, no. Those guys are posers. The people who buy big belt buckles are posers. The kids, it's the people who win them in rodeos and in shows. That's the big
Because
thing.
why would you have one that's super huge unless it's a trophy?
Right.
It's completely not practical.
No.
Or comfortable.
No.
That's why I never wear
But
mine.
the big thing was, I remember in high school, I don't know if you remember this or you thought or you hung out with people or saw them, whenever they would go to the club, they would always be wearing, they would have their ropers on and
The club.
yeah, they would go dancing like
In high school?
yeah, because they had nights, it was like family nights, and they go dancing with their family. It was like a club, and they would all go, and they'd be like, "We're going out to the side steps or whatever it was called," and they would all have their giant belt buckles on. So there was that too. So yes, it is a fact that certain Texans, wear giant belt buckles. It's not just in the movies; it's in the country. Yes, this is true.
Next question. Jack the Rabbit. Question for next time. What's the weirdest song request that a student has asked to learn? Have you ever had any song requests that came unexpectedly? For example, a metalhead kid wants to learn a song from a musical.
Have you ever had? That's your. I've never taught a metalhead kid.
Nope. I've never had a metalhead kid want to learn a musical thing.
Yeah, or a country song. Like switch it up, do country.
No.
I'd be like, easy listening.
Not really. Everybody's pretty predictable.
Can we learn some Kenny G solos?
Well, I guess the weirdest, in retrospect, I had a little Benjamin's 9, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, how old are you? He's like, are you 10? He's like, I'm 9.
Okay, there you go. That'll make him feel even worse. Okay.
Yeah, it should. I know. I was saying. We have a piano student who's 9 who's doing amazing, and we have some older piano students who are like,
how old is he?
why is he?
Yeah, they should be further along.
Why is he ahead of me in piano?
Because he's extremely competitive.
Because he practices.
So what are your things about Benjamin? He requested a song?
No. I was thinking young.
Oh, okay.
Young students. Like I had how old was Aubrey? 11 or
yeah,
maybe like a 12. I had like a 12 or 13-year-old girl who's like, hey, kind of out of the blue because it wasn't really
what we were doing.
What I was expecting. She was like, hey, can you teach me to play Stairway to Heaven? And I was like, what? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. We're going to start right now today. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I was so excited. I'm like, what's this? And the first student to ever ask me to teach them Stairway to Heaven. Like, and we've been teaching for a long time, and nobody ever asked. I'm like,
I remember that.
So there's this like 12-year-old girl who's like, can you teach me Stairway to Heaven? I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. Let's get started. Let's do this. And so we started working on it. Yeah. I was like, man, I think after a couple weeks, I was like, yeah, it's my grandma's favorite song. I was like, crap.
Yeah.
You lost me. I thought you were cool for a minute. And then it was like, she's just learning it for her grandma.
Because her grandma was a metalhead.
Well, she's not a metalhead, but...
Yeah, no, she liked
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, no, she liked Black Sabbath and her grandma, because her little girl's mom, Aubrey's mom.
Well,
yeah, they were a couple grades apart or something like that.
A little bit younger than
And she was sent. We were talking about it because Ryan's in there teaching, and I said, "That's so cool that she has to play Led Zeppelin." She goes, "Oh yeah, my mom loves. Yeah, I grew up. My mom listened to all of that, just like Black Sabbath, and she starts naming like Aerosmith. She loves da da da. Like she was a metalhead.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because that was her age. I mean, she was like mom's age. She's like mom's age.
That would be probably the weirdest that I can think of. That's like, I mean, you would think it's not weird. Somebody wants to learn Stairway, but
especially when you saw the grandmother walk in, because she looked just like everybody's grandma,
a normal grandma,
just a normal. I mean, not like poofy little hair or anything. She had a cute little hairstyle, but she looked like the grandmother. She looked like a grandma, just like a regular grandma. So for her to be like, "Oh my gosh, I love this song," there's woo!
Very exciting.
It's so great. Yeah, it was. it was awesome to be able to pull that whole thing off and, you know, kind of dedicate it to her grandma for that recital. That was really good.
You had any weird ones?
No,
Or
not
unexpected.
Not really. My two new vocal and ukulele students, they're brother and sister, and they have great taste in music, and they've kind of been just not nice. It's not weird. It's just they're exposing me to bands I've never heard of, just have never heard of.
Eclectic.
Which I like. I like their style of music. There's a young lady that they listen to. She's a YouTuber called Egg, and the last song, we didn't get to sing it.
How do you spell it?
Egg, EGG.
Okay.
Like the actual chicken egg. And her song Anarchy is really great. It's dark, but it's funny and it's sweet. It's romantic. It's like all of it all at once. It's really interesting. And she talks about World War III, and we didn't get to sing it, but he did perform it because I thought it wasn't really practical to do at this time in our world's climate.
Given
to
immediate world events,
right? To
sing a song about missiles raining down and I love you anyways. And
I hope we make it, kind of thing. So we didn't sing it, but you should look it up. It's really good. And she also has a song called Sweet Hibiscus Tea. There's a little bit of language in it.
What's the other song called? Anarchy?
Anarchy.
By Egg?
By Egg. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And then there's a band called the Crane Wives, and they have a song called Curses, and it's really cute.
Swearing?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Different kind of curse.
It just has a really cool kind of folky, I don't know. It's just really interesting. I really like it. So whenever they told me about it, I was like, I've never heard of any of this. And
quirky.
Yeah, it's very quirky, but it fit them. But I've never had a student ask me or even expose me to stuff that I've never heard of before. So that's about it for me.
We talk about, there's a lot of chitter chatter about rock is dead or rock will never be as big as it once was or any of that stuff. And I'm like, guys, y'all, like the amount of kiddos who are like, hey, can you teach me Inner Sandman? I'm like, yes, right now. Thank you. And like, hey, do you know Master of Puppets? Yes. Hey, do you know any Led Zeppelin?
Was it Jacob learned, what was it, the song that he learned from, I can't even think of it now. Never mind.
Thunderstruck.
They ask all the time. Barracuda.
10, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds is like, hey, can you teach me these rock songs? I'm like, yes. Now I do find
Diver.
Now it is kind of, maybe that does feed into the narrative though, that it's like all the good rock is old rock. Like nobody's asking, hey, I just heard this new song just came out from this new band. Can you teach it to me? There's none of that. It's all like
classic stuff.
So maybe, I don't know, but maybe all these kiddos who are like, they're learning on the good stuff, rock stuff, will, as they get older, create the new rock stuff. I don't know.
Well, you have to think about it like the baby boomers, which are our parents and some of our siblings, they are such a huge generation that were exposed to all the good stuff. And then Gen X, our generation and siblings and younger siblings, have the kids
of Gen Xers that are
the kids of Gen Xers who are grandparents or baby boomers. There's so many of them though that I don't think it's going to be a while before now you start getting millennials who are still affected by, because their parents are baby boomers / Gen Xers, depending on how old they were whenever they had to. So I don't think it'll ever go away because that generation is so ginormous that it'll continually feed into the next generation. That, because most of the kids that we teach that are 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all their parents are around our age.
Yeah.
Their age is between 30 and 45.
None of these kids are asking to learn like hip hop and R&B and even I have a couple of kiddos who are into country, but a lot are like, hey,
I've only gotten maybe like
Back in Black. Yes, I do.
One or two Gaga requests and maybe 2 Billie Eilish.
I don't even get any Taylor Swift requests. I'm like,
not
you
a
would
single
think
one.
These young girls who are like, Taylor Swift, like, you know any Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I get what is it? Maroon 5 and
21 Pilots a little bit.
Ed Sheeran, John Legend. I mean, a lot of them are like, I love All of Me by John Legend. I'm like, okay. You know, I love this by Ed Sheeran. Okay, cool. Bruno Mars, like we sing a lot of that. Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol, stuff like that. I think Imagine Dragons is the closest newer band that kids are really into that I've had quite a few requests for. So
I think I've taught one of their songs. I forgot what it was called. Do 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 do.
Or was it Sanford Sons or something like that?
I had to listen to it. I was like, I don't know any of their songs. But I was listening. I was like, oh, it's a cool riff.
Our boys like
I mean, I was like, oh, it's a sweet guitar riff. I mean, it's as riffy as any 80s rock stuff was. I was like, okay.
Riffy as any riff could be.
Well, not as any riff. It wasn't James Hetfield
I know
riffs.
you like riffy. I like how you said riffy.
The day the riffs died. The day Riff City died. There's riffs for days, y'all. All right, and that was the final question. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for asking questions. If you have a question for next week, please leave it down below in the comment section of this video, and we'll try to answer that question next week. And it's time for our little game, hashtag of the day. If you watched this entire video all the way through, which if you're a legend, you probably did, we have a secret hashtag. Type it as its own comment or with your comment or with your question or whatever, and we will know, and all of the legendary people in the comment section, all you guys and girls who are regulars, will know each other has a legend badge. Right? And the riff of the day. Secret hashtag of the day is hashtag riff.
No,
okay. Hashtag what?
Belt buckle.
Belt buckle. That makes a lot more sense. That's it. Belt buckle. Belt buckle. I used to have a belt buckle.
Yeah.
With a big old blue stone in it, and I think like it was about to stick.
Look, he's like, no fiction. No.
When I was 4,
I used to have a belt buckle with a big old stone in the middle of it. Give me a break. Come on.
Come on, son. When I was 5.
Our Aiden has a belt buckle given to him by Papa. Like he has a belt buckle about that big.
What's it say?
It just has a little bucking cowboy on him. Bronco. Cowboy
he
like that.
He didn't win it.
No.
You're supposed to wear it if you don't win it?
It's not that kind. It doesn't have like a championship number on it.
It's not that kind of belt buckle. Even our normal belt buckles are like kind of bigger than most other states' normal belt buckles.
Yeah. Usually.
Ain't
nobody got one. Our son has one.
Ain't no Alaskan belt buckles out there, I'll tell you one thing.
Wyoming. Montana. One of the decoders.
Secret ring decoder?
Is that a South Dakota or a North Dakota? It's a ring decoder.
West decoder?
You're a decoder.
You say these things. You say these things.
Decoder.
And then you don't decode me.
Oh, man.
I'm a mystery.